In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing Season 8, American Horror Story Apocalypse. Now, Season 8 of American Horror Story Apocalypse premiered September 12th, 2018, and concluded on November 14th, 2018, and it ran for 10 episodes, and is a crossover between Season 1 of American Horror Story Murder House and Season 3 American Horror Story Coven. Now, basically, it tells the story of, at the end of how American Horror Story Murder House, we see the Antichrist being born, the young boy you see that Jessica Lange attends to, and the end of that season. And then all of a sudden, the witches in Season 3 try and stop the Antichrist from taking over the world. Now, I want to say this season was very, very interesting. Having the 8th season be a crossover between two of the most popular seasons of American Horror Story and two of the most fan-based popular ones is incredible. The interesting thing about this is that it starts off where we see this, we don't know what's happening. All of a sudden, these people are taken into an underground shelter. Who are these people? These are witches. What's happening? The Antichrist. How does this all play along? There are some confusing moments at times in this season, I want to say. And like I've said before in my American Horror Story reviews on previous seasons that you've watched, anything up to episode 5 and 6 is great. We get that reveal of episode 5 or in episode 6 where we understand what's happening with all these characters. But then from then on out, it's just a rush and pack to put everything together in order to close out and give a season finale that the fans are worthy of. I was really disappointed about how it ended, but I loved how it started. Jessica Lange does return in her role from American Horror Story Murder House Season 1, and she is really, really great. She's in your face, and the new cast member, Cody Fern, who plays the Antichrist, gives one hell of a performance, and it's just insane. Of course, Sarah Paulson comes back, Evan Peters is in this, Billy Lord is in this, Leslie Grossman, Emma Roberts, everyone that played in the Murder House and Coven series and season is in this. There's some surprises that I don't want to give away who you might see show up, and it's just interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, it's all connected, and seeing a crossover between two seasons is really hard to do in TV because it never has that recognition of support at all. But this, like I said, started out really, really good and ended really, really bad. There was no closure, but the only way they killed the Antichrist was one stupid way. Didn't make any sense. There should have been a better way. Like I said, this series is really packed with a lot of holy shit moments. And, hey, FX gives Ryan Murphy free range to do anything. And I'm pretty sure he does, because all of a sudden you started hearing the F-bombs flowing left and right in this series like this. Fuck this, fuck that. I was like, well, this is on primetime television. What the hell? It's like shocking, and it's on at 10 o'clock, on FX. But hey, adding the craziness factor of seeing the BDSM come back from Murder House, seeing, Jessica Lange's character from Murder House in this was great. She missed out on 4 seasons, being that her last appearance in an American Horror Story season was Freak Show, but then she shows up in Apocalypse in sort of a cameo role. But her cameo role did garner an Outstanding Guest Actress Appearance Award for this role. She was nominated for it in a drama series, so it goes to show that Jessica Lange is the main focus and point in these series. The series has never been the same once Jessica Lange left, because she was a prominent person behind these characters, these roles that she played. Once she left after Freak Show, it just got really, really bad. I feel like Ryan Murphy didn't know what to do with it, but he knew he had an idea and vision of how to move things along. But Apocalypse worked in a way where they brought Jessica Lange back, and they brought all the fan favorites back from seasons 1 and 3. Now, if they crossed over a different season with 1 and 3, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, that would have been even interesting. Seeing Asylum and Apocalypse, wow, or Freak Show and Apocalypse, who knows what could have happened. There's so many potentials that could have been done, but they went with season 1 and season 3. Great idea, great execution, but in the end, bad delivery. And like I said, the way they killed the Antichrist was a letdown. The way certain things between the Coven were done was a letdown. the Antichrist wasn't that much of a threat to anybody in this season. And I feel like it should have been more than what they offered us. I mean, there are great scenes, and the only great scenes that are in this, and I want to say it, is when we see the Coven of Witches. That's it. Anytime it's on the Antichrist or on the underground bunker where the world ends, evidently, it's just dragging. It's boring. They need to pull it out. It's like it slows the pace down. But once the Coven of Witches comes in, bang, things start happening. And seeing Sarah Paulson back as Cordelia, wow, great. Flawless acting. She's stunningly beautiful in this season, like she was in Coven, and even all the other seasons at that. But seeing her play a role that she knows what to do with and how she's familiar with it from season 1 and even season 3 goes to show that she had more of a fun doing this season than any other season. That's just my opinion from what I've seen. But this is a big cast of characters that are in this, season. And when you see the guest stars, when you see the main cast, the recurring characters, the list goes on and on. It's just interesting because then you get this, even Kathy Bates comes back. It's just, it's a fun season, but it missed its mark tremendously. So for me, American Horror Story Season 8 Apocalypse gets 2 out of 5 stars. Jessica Lange really stood out in her guest role, and the Coven of Witches really made this work. Other than that, this season of Apocalypse didn't make any sense. At the end, it turned into more so of a comedy than actually what it's supposed to be, and which was a letdown. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Season 8 American Horror Story Apocalypse. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you find it interesting? And what did you think about the crossover between Seasons 1 and 3? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.